Debbie and Carrie have arrived in Los Angeles. And once again, they meet up with Laura Park.
Welcome back to my home. It might interest you two to know that Suzanne is living here too. Oh, are you two married? Not yet. We are domestic partners, but we are in no hurry to tie the knot. We may do that if and when we decide to have a baby or adopt a child. Hello, Debbie and Carrie. Great to see you two again. And I think you know this guy, right?
Yep, it's me, your cousin. I am now one of Suzanne's best friends.
And how did that come about? I remember when she faced you and your mother down on that talk show, the one where the adoption of baby Diana and abortion were the topics.
Yeah. Looking back at that incident, I'm not proud of that moment. My mother was trying to score talking points and thought the Hudson family members would help her argue against abortion rights. But Suzanne busted her so badly that privately I began having doubts about my mother and the watchtower she was so loyal to. Things got even worse when a friend of mine, a fellow rapper, was shot and sent to the hospital and needed a blood transfusion to survive. That was about 2 years ago. According to the watchtower, accepting blood transfusions is a sin, but how can you reconcile rejecting that life-saving procedure with also claiming to be pro-life? And finally, there was remembering my first encounter with you, Carrie, at the hospital where my grandmother died. You know the rest.
After Scott met with you and his Aunt Lucy in the town, he returned to here and met me too. And he apologized for his self-righteous behavior in the past. I see. And does your mother know about any of this?
Nope. As long as she lives, I will keep my defection from the Jehovah's Witnesses a secret. I am what you might call PIMO. Physically and mentally out of the cult. I no longer live with my parents. I do occasionally attend my parents' Kingdom Hall to keep up appearances, but I will never go door to door to try to win people to join with the Watchtower again.
But isn't that the very definition of a hypocrite? I think sooner or later you need to come out and be honest about yourself.
You show me how to do that without losing the love of the ones who brought me into this world and I will do it.
Debbie, you were never raised in a cult like that, so don't judge him too harshly. My grandfather Gordon and my mother Lucy both rejected the cult and it tore the Gordon family apart. Likewise, the Park family was torn apart when my mother and I rejected being Baptists and my father refused to follow us out of that religion I'd been raised in. And you know what happened later? All this talk about families and cults is making my head spin. Excuse me. Hello. Debbie. Yes, Mother. I'm calling you to tell you that Carrie and I made it to Los Angeles and we are now in Laura's house again. Good. And Mother, I also wanted to thank you for raising me to be an atheist and introducing me also to the principles of Unitarian Universalism. I hear stories of family members who reject each other because at least one of them leave a religion, and it blows my mind that such shit happens. I know. I myself went through that rejection after I married your father and he insisted on telling everyone in the Green family he and I were atheists. That was the right thing to do. But it still hurt to see my relatives' hostile reactions. Your father may have sucked at being my husband, but in many ways he was still better than most of my blood relatives, and I will never regret having been his wife. I understand. Goodbye, Mother.